welcome to Cover Story. Today we have with us BJP leader Dr. Subramanian Swamy, a man who's really never out of the headlines. So today we are going to talk to him about his latest salvo. Welcome to News Express, Dr. Swamy.
Yeah.
And you've been, this renewed agitation for the Ram Mandir.
Yes.
Why now? A lot of people are questioning the timing. They are saying it's in keeping with the UP polls, which are 1 year away.
Well, that's an easy thing to say, but supposing we have put it in the manifesto. And like in the black money issue, people everywhere they keep asking, why haven't you done, why haven't you done? If we didn't do it this year, then we can't do it next year because next year the elections are actually taking place. So then I'll have to begin this thing in 2018. Then you will say Lok Sabha election you are doing. This country is now in this unfortunate state where we have an election practically every year. So it's difficult to find a timing when it is not cannot be connected to some election.
No, but why not 5 years ago?
I was not here. I was not in BJP. And now in these things you need an organizational backing, and see, since RSS, perhaps the only issue they ever have organizationally committed is this Ram Mandir issue. So there is a massive backing. I don't have to do any work. Supposing there is a seminar in Delhi University, all the work, everything was done by those who are Ram Bhaktas and belong to the Sangha organizations.
You said I was not here, which means that people in the BJP RSS are not really pushing it, but you are the prime driver.
I'm in some ways a freak in the sense I know economics, I know law, I know politics.
Freak. When I called you Maverick, I remember once you got very upset. But you're okay.
No, I know I got upset in the sense that it's a compliment in America to be called a Maverick. But in India, people don't understand. They use it. It sounds terrible.
Okay.
So they use it as an abuse. So that's why I said I corrected you.
But freak is okay, you're saying.
A freak in the sense that I'm not in the run-of-the-mill politician.
That no one will argue with.
Yeah, that's right. I read, and then I articulate, then I think over it. And I have a record. See, if you look at the litigation, Ram Setu, they had given up on Ram Setu. And it was going to be blown up with RDX. With 4 days left, I got it stopped by a stay. So then Ram Setu, now National Herald, before that 2G, so there is a long string.
See, people, for instance, we have Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi saying, let's not politicize the issue. Shiv Sena, Sanjay Raut has also said that, it should not be seen in the context of elections. Let's not put political pressure on this issue.
Yeah.
So there are people who are a little wary. You are treading where people are.
I am not doing any politics. It's been done in the university. The seminar was done in the university. I could have done it in a big hall. I could have done it in a Ramlila Maidan. But I did it deliberately in the university to keep it as an intellectual issue and not as a political issue.
But after that, now you've written to the Prime Minister asking for a day-to-day hearing.
Yes, I wrote today. I'm surprised you're so well informed. But the thing is that I was on a TV interview with OIC. And when they saw that I and he were so friendly, even though we were violently disagreeing, so many people in the audience there suggested, why don't you two get together and sit down? He was not in favor of an out-of-court settlement. But he said, I'm ready to accept a day-to-day hearing. That's good enough. So I said, what about the other people? They may not accept you. You are a Shia and they are Sunnis. So he said, no, I have spoken to Mr. Giuliani, who is the prominent advocate in the matter. And he is also ready for day-to-day. And he said, you write to the Prime Minister and tell him that you tell your law officers to give a day-to-day hearing.
But what would you prefer, out-of-court settlement or in-court?
To me, both is fine, and both will ultimately mean that Ram Temple will be built. Because
now, everybody saying, how do you know what the court will decide? Supposing the court says no, then what happens?
Well, if you look at your old programs with me, you'll find that I had predicted that we'll get 2G spectrum scam, we'll win. Raja will go to jail. I said, National Herald, I've got a very strong case. You were telling me what the congressmen are saying. Who are you? What is your locus standi? All that. I said, no. And they will lose when they went in appeal to the High Court. I had predicted. I have a pretty fair idea how the court thinks. And if you tailor your arguments to the principles on which the court functions, then you can predict whether you're going to win or not.
You also made a very interesting observation in one of your interviews about Rajiv Gandhi being in favor
Yes, he
of
was.
building a temple.
He was. Rajiv Gandhi was a very fine human. I'm really sorry because in the opposition he actually grew in maturity. If he had come back, he would have been a first-class Prime Minister. He and Narasimha Rao were true nationalists. And of course, Narasimha Rao was not he didn't have any encumbrances of family. Rajiv Gandhi had this misfortune.
There we go again.
Yeah.
But
So,
back to Rajiv.
but he actually quadrupled our defense budget. But this Time magazine had a front page article on Rajiv Gandhi in 1987 or 86, saying this xenophobist or some. I mean, they were upset that he was building the Indian army in such a vast thing. Then he had taken over Siachen. He had given a bloody nose to the Chinese on Sumdorung or some place like that. So I mean, here was a expansionist power, like it was.
The 56-inch chest.
Yeah, he was really 56 inches. And therefore I admired him. He was a friend also. From day one we were friends. There was never any enmity between me and him, despite his mother.
But that's what a lot of people are, wondering. You were so close to Rajiv, not so close to Indira, not at all close to Sonia Gandhi.
Yeah.
Why is that? What went wrong?
Well,
I know the
Rajiv
Tea
was Rajiv was transparent. Indira Gandhi, although I must say towards the last 3 years of her life, I had helped her on China. And since she had become very friendly with me, and in fact she nominated me to represent her on the Courtney's Memorial in China.
This is after you opposed her in the emergency?
That is after 80.
After
she returned back. And the first time when Narasimha Rao came to me saying that she wants your help on China, I said, why should I do anything for her? She put so many people in jail. I don't want to have anything to do with her. Then she herself called me.
Sounds like the Swami we know.
Yeah. Then she herself called me for tea, and then she said, I'm not asking for myself, I'm asking for the country.
Is the BJP leadership okay? Is the Prime Minister okay with your movement on the Ram Mandir?
I would get a signal from him, supposing he didn't want anything. But I mean, it's something he wanted me to go slow or fast. I mean, I would get. It's not that he has ever given, but I know him well enough. I know him for a long time. I can figure out talking to, say, the Gujarat Chief Minister or to his people here. He has one or two people who from Gujarat are Solicitor Generals, that kind of thing. I would get an indication, no, he doesn't want you to go so fast or to drop the subject. I have not got any indication. I know him by nature. If it can be done legally, he would like me to do it.
You also said one very interesting comment that the Prime Minister focuses on governments and these issues like Ram Mandir to me.
That was a sort of a light comment because Rajdeep Sardesai said that, the Prime Minister is not thinking of this. Why are you thinking of it? Now, we are not that kind of party where, what the Prime Minister thinks is what everybody should think. So I said, no, let him focus.
That is the problem, that you're not that kind of party. What the Prime Minister thinks, everybody should think.
Yes.
That involves a lot of loose cannons coming into the...
There are no loose cannons. I mean,
Mahesh Sharma, Sakshi
so
Maharaj.
what? What Mahesh Sharma has said, I don't find fault with it. And people can have opinions, and you must understand, you see on the Republican Party and Democratic Party in the United States, I mean, all kinds of things have gone, including Mr. Donald Trump saying that Muslims should not be allowed to enter as migrants in America.
Now, don't tell me you agree with that.
No, it's not a question of agreeing, but the fact is that the Republican Party has not taken an official position, saying that, we are going to expel you for taking this.
No, but hasn't it damaged in the last year? Hasn't that damaged the image of the Prime Minister?
Damaged this cocktail club in the eyes of the cocktail club in Delhi, yes, but not in the country.
Look at Bihar. Bihar is hardly cocktail club.
No, Bihar was a different matter. It was a caste polarization, because caste polarization will always take place in India if you don't have a national issue. And the 2014 election, it was a national issue, that they're fighting corruption and so on. So we haven't delivered on that. There's no doubt that the fact that on black money you haven't done anything is a major factor for us. And we are losing elections at many levels. And we need to correct that, and I'm sure we'll be able to correct it. These are correctable things.
Even Ramdev has now said that.
Yeah, I know.
So he's criticizing the government for not delivering.
No, well, see, all of us who supported.
Exactly. Yeah.
I am constrained by party discipline not to speak against the party.
But you find your ways.
But I have pointed out that I've written a letter. These are the six steps to be taken. Jetli doesn't agree. What can I do?
But Dr. Swamy, you say things like, let's abolish GST. Now, at a time when the whole government, the whole country is trying to get this GST bill on the table, you are saying let's abolish it.
Read Narendra Modi's letter as Chief Minister. He had tooth and nail opposed this GST. I am saying abolish GST because it's not worth the time we are spending to persuade them to pass it. You see,
but the act by
90% of what the government can do doesn't require Parliament. I know it when I worked with Narasimha Rao. How many things we got done without even consulting the Parliament? Abolition of income tax, for example, I'm a very strong advocate of that. You don't need Parliament for that.
But nobody in the government seems to second your views, except maybe, I think, Nitin Gadkari, if I'm not wrong.
No, I don't want them to. Because I'm not, if they are in government, they are committed, because it is a cabinet decision. So there will be wrong for any minister to support me. But I'm giving a view, an alternative view.
Other issues is, which has come up, Supreme Court has really come down asking for harsher punishment on child abusers. This is something you've also been following.
I've been saying that. I certainly think that the deterrent punishment is necessary for crimes against women. I think we need a punishment by which a person committing rape will know that if he is convicted, he will never be able in the future to commit rape. Castration is one method, surgery is another method, but we have to do it.
What can we do to give the juvenile accused in the Nirbhaya case his
No, I'll tell you.
Punishment? How
I'll tell you as far as this fellow is concerned. And I've been saying it, but none of your channels have been carrying it. He is not freed. He is still in custody. The rule says that you cannot release him into society unless it is certified that he is compatible with society, and for that an additional 2 years is available. He is now in the hands of something called a management committee, in which essentially, instead of being in a cage, he is now with a collar and a chain. In the case of my case in the High Court, the matter is now still being discussed as to how the law can be tightened further.
For future cases.
For future cases. But at the same time, the High Court accepted the argument that I gave, which I must say the Government of India also agreed with me on that, that yes, he need not be let off immediately. For 2 years, he can be subject to psychiatric treatment, being assessed whether he is compatible with our society.
Okay.
And those 2 years,
and
we'll
if
do
after
something.
2 years he is not compatible,
No, if there, we will do something by that.
Okay, well, we're all hoping you will do something,
Yeah,
especially
because
in this
he
case.
doesn't deserve any mercy. What he did was just animal behavior, not fit for a human being.
Yeah.
And he cannot change.
Well, we need to take a short break. Welcome back to Cover Story. We are in conversation with Dr. Subramanian Swamy. Another issue moving on is Mehbooba Mufti. You were one of the first. In fact, in this case again, you predicted the stream of events that, there is a problem in the alliance.
Yeah, I think first of all, this assumption that was there from the first day, she's the daughter of Mufti, therefore she should go straight to the governor and get the oath. We don't like that. That's not democratic. The MLAs, she's going to be Chief Minister on the strength of the MLAs. Right. So the MLAs must feel that we participated in her. Well, I have no objection to her personally. In fact, I think well of her. She has some radical views which need to be moderated over time. But she's a personality. And if she becomes, I'll not find that objectionable. But you can't say that this is a dynastic principle. I'm the daughter, therefore I become Chief Minister. No. You come. She wants new conditions, no problem. We'll put new conditions.
Also.
And negotiate.
Some people are saying she doesn't want the Deputy CM post at all.
Well, I don't know whether she'll stick to that or not.
But so you don't object, you're objecting to the principle that it should
Absolutely.
not be dynastic succession,
That's right.
but you have no problem with Mehbooba per
No,
se.
no.
A lot of people do have problems with her per
Yeah,
se.
no, she has some radical views, and but
Vajpayee
I
refused to share
have.
the dais with her in '96.
I know that, but I am of the view that the Indian military is in such control of Kashmir that Mehbooba and 10 Mehboobas cannot do anything. You see, we are in control of Kashmir. Nobody can make us part with it. The only remaining question is the recovery of the portion which Pakistan is illegally occupied. That's all is the issue. Now Mehbooba wants to say something. I frankly think we are a little intolerant, definitely, in this. We don't like any view which is different from the conformist view. I faced this all through my life. I've lost 2 professorships in India, Delhi and IIT. Of course, the courts have reinstated me, but it took years and years. And I've been, all through the left wing in this country has targeted me. And so I don't think just because she has these views, we have to see whether she can implement these views. Now, if I come to the conclusion she will not implement this, she can't implement these views, then I would allow, in a democratic spirit, let her have her view.
At least so long as she doesn't go too far with the views.
No, let her go as far as she wants. Then we have other measures to take care of it.
You already had a few hiccups with Mufti Saab on this issue of separatists.
Yes.
And with Mehbooba, these are going to be bigger and bigger.
That's all right.
Won't that,
let her express her agony. But the fact is, we are not going to part with 1 inch of Kashmir, including that part which is in the illegal occupation of Pakistan. Let them understand. This is a new India now. We have got a whole new generation which has not been weaned on Jawaharlal Nehru or the Western influence. This is a self-confident new India which wants to see that its integrity is preserved.
But this is also new India that is going beyond Pakistan. We want to, for us, economics, jobs, those are the big issues.
That is the byproduct. I mean, what is economic? Got nothing to do with what our stand on Kashmir is or Afghanistan is. Economy can improve in no time. But then you must know what to tap. Now, there is a disagreement. What I have suggested, the finance minister will not implement. So I'm still not, my views are not tested. I have rescued an economy which was in complete doldrums when Chandrasekhar came to power. And then with Narasimha Rao, we brought in the first major transformation of our country. The fact of the matter is that the economy of India can any time grow for at least 10-15 years at 10% per year. But you have to do certain things which people don't agree. I say, today what you need is to enthuse the people. Abolish income tax. The middle class will be delirious. And they will not spend that money, by the way. They'll put it in the bank. And so through the banks, you will get the money for investment.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
But no country in the world has abolished
I'm afraid,
income tax.
I tell you, some people think that these controls are necessary to control the people.
Is that why no countries abolished?
When Narasimha Rao and I were working out these implementation, how many civil servants told me that nobody will come to do salam to you? All these industries will become totally arrogant and all that. I said, so what? I don't want them to be sitting in my waiting room. When I took over as Commerce Ministry, all the licensing was done by Commerce Ministry for export and import. Every single industrialist was sitting for hours in my waiting room because I had gone to some meeting, was late. They would wait. All that changed when we abolished all these things. So that's what we have to do.
Did Narasimha Rao agree on the abolishing of income tax?
Narasimha Rao thought it was, time it was not ripe. That's what he kept saying. I kept saying to him, you're abolishing controls, you're abolishing licenses. All your party men who had ensconced themselves in the system by getting licenses by influence and selling it in the black market, they're all going to lose money. They are going to turn against you. So do something where somebody else stands up, and that's the middle class. So abolish it. He said, no, not my second term, which he never got.
I can't have you and not talk about the National Herald. Just the last word.
Yeah.
On what do we expect next? I believe you've got some documents.
Now I've got a summons issued to all the ministries to give me the files.
There's the ED and the income tax.
ED, income tax, DDA, Corporate Affairs Ministry, every one of them.
This you did not have earlier?
I couldn't have earlier. Nobody gave it to me.
Okay.
You see, and therefore, I mean, even if I asked, they wouldn't have given it to me. It would have been, then the court would ask me, how did you get it?
Okay.
Now I've got the court
Due process.
authority. And DDA has got these documents. Income tax has got it. They keep saying, what business is a Swamy, this is our party's issue. But then why income tax is issued them a notice? So I'll get those documents. Then they have violated the criminal law. They are not supposed to own a commercial company. If you can't directly do commercial activity, you can't do indirectly. By
Why
acquiring,
are you not supposed to own a commercial company?
because they are a Section 25 company, which now is called Section 8 company, which is a charitable trust.
Plain English.
In plain English means you will only do charitable work.
You cannot do commercial work with that.
You cannot do any work
So you
for
cannot
profit.
rent it out and to commercial buildings and
That is one part. What they are saying is all that rent is going to associated journals. So what? But you are indirectly controlling it. So the law says that if you can't directly do something, you can't do it indirectly. Okay, so this is an open shut case. There's no escape.
Okay, well, we always seem to run out of time during an interview with you, but that's it from us this week. Thank you for watching this edition of Cover Story. We'll see you again same time next week.